Well, hello there, YouTube friends. John Robert here, and I'm here to review yet again another cologne. And this one is in a package I just received about, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. And I've got other packages coming. I'm trying to adjust myself with this ring light thing. Anyhow, I thought I'd try one that I used to wear along with many others back in the 80s. And this one is Alfred Sung, or Zung, as I was told it was pronounced. Again, like all these other ones, they've been reformulated, and this one is no exception. But I'm going to open this up and see what it smells like. I did elect to get the one that was presented just before the one that's out now, the one that is just with the sprayer in the cap, that's part of the cap, as opposed to the one that's out now, the most recent one, which contains the sprayer under the cap. So I will go ahead and try to open this up and see what we've got. And I should probably spare this, but I figure, well, you know, probably just me watching this anyhow. Well, no, there's a few subscribers now, which I appreciate you know. And I thought, well, let me go into this. And now this one, I generally buy my fragrances at, you know, like they say, the discounters now, online, or in this case, it's wrapped nicely. I got off of eBay because they offered free shipping. And at my age, on a fixed income, we like free shipping. We just do. So anyhow, okay, so this was, I remember now, this one here is in a, it's called a tester. And it is in a generic white box, but they promised me that it has no negative effect on the quality of the fragrance being a tester. If anything, I would think a tester would be just as good, if not better, because you're trying to entice people to buy the product. So I'm opening up the box and not even realizing what I'm doing, that you're watching me do this, and I forgot for a minute. Anyhow, yeah, so it's just a tester box. It's not, you know, it's not anything in particular. It says tester not for sale. And what did they do? They sold it to me. So anyhow, let me pull it out. And sure enough, it does have what I hope for. That if you can see it here, all that bright ring light activity, the sprayer in there. And the full 3.4 ounces of cologne, perfume water, however you want to call it, or juice as they call it now. I don't care for that terminology, but anyhow, but you get a full-size bottle there. And so I'm going to go ahead and spray it and see. Everyone has been claiming, according to the reviews, that it smells like Irish Spring soap. I remember using that back in the 70s when it came out. And I thought, oh, Irish Spring, it was such the rage back then. Oh, you smell like Irish Spring. Oh, yes, you do, lad. Yeah, so everybody really liked that. But I remember having a small bottle of this in around 1987, maybe? Maybe earlier, actually, somewhere around there. And thinking to myself that it was really a good fragrance. So I thought, you know, since it's not too expensive, now this one I paid with free shipping $22, but I did see online, on eBay that is, that they go for around $17, $18, but that's the latest version. This one is prior to that, and on account of the way the sprayer is made here in the cap. And based on some of the reviews out there, I wanted to, well, try this one because they said that in comparison to the latest release, that this one is a bit spicier. And when I heard that, I thought, well, let me go with that because I don't want it to be just all soapy smelling. But based on what I'm picking up now, is very faint. I mean, of course, it hasn't been sprayed yet. But anyhow, it's supposed to be, like I said again, a rather soapy smell and spicy and all that. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. Let me try this as I generally do. I might spray it on the paper actually. See this paper here? Let me spray it on that first. Okay, now checking this. Ooh. Oh, right off the bat, I like it. Yes, this smells familiar. Oh yeah, I like that. Here, let me show you the spray. See, that's a good amount of spray. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so what is my initial impression? I like. I'm gonna set this down for a minute so I can sniff the paper. Right off the bat, I get definitely more of a spiciness. I wouldn't say soap, but on this one, I definitely get a spicy kickback from this. And that's just at a distance, not putting my nose right on it. Let me smell the paper here. Yeah, it's a spicy with an undercurrent of a soapy smell to it. I'm not getting Irish Spring, because I remember that smell all too well. I mean, we were all into that back in the day, and I guess they still sell it now, come to think of it. But I remember that back then, just like the colognes, they used to be really, well, the soaps were really potent, really strong. And, but this here, I would say it smells more, in comparison to today's colognes, the way they're made, and I don't mean just because of the reformulation, but this, to me, smells more back then, the way I remember colognes to be made. A little more saturated, a little bit more upfront, strong, which I guess in some cases would, by today's observation, would be a little bit dated. But to me, it's a throwback to the past, which I'm always into. I mean, hello. You know, I love, you know, kind of things that are retro and all that. I mean, that's just what I'm into. But I also like it because this is what I wore back then, when it first came out. Now, as it's winding down a little bit, not winding down, but just kind of, you know, equalizing, I pick up lavender. Now, again, this is to do with the bottle, with the spray with inside the cap itself, which is very convenient, by the way. And it's a pretty bottle too. It is a true, I'd say, violet purple tone. It's not really blue, but it's more of a violet purple tone liquid. Now, I have seen these bottles with blue liquid, and I believe that that's the aftershave, but this is the eau de toilette. Is that correct? Is it eau de toilette? Why is it not telling me? Well, and let's see on the bottom if I can see something on here, which I cannot because it's written in black on a label, a plastic clear label, and the lettering is in black next to the dark liquid, so I can't really, yeah, it does, I do see it. It says eau de toilette. So, So far, yes, on the first spray, I find it to be fairly spicy, undercurrent of soapy, a bit of floral with that. I'm picking up lavender, and I think because of the florals and lavender, I'm now just at this distance now. Remember, this is on the paper here, and just sitting a good, I don't know what, a foot and a half away from it. My nose is about a foot and a half, 2 feet away. It smells nice. It smells good. But I don't know about the Irish Spring. See, I remember Irish Spring as well because I'm an old creakety codger. But I remember when it first came out. And believe me, Irish Spring, there was no mistaking that that was Irish Spring. When you shower with that, and of course I was probably in high school then, all them, hey, Mr. Irish Spring, you know, kids would joke with other kids. They're like, oh, we know what you showered with, you know. And, but I'm not really getting that. It's, let me smell it more up close here. No, I'm not getting so much of the Irish Spring. I'm really not. Now, to be fair, I have not purchased any Irish Spring soap in years and years and decades. So maybe today's Irish Spring might be similar to this that I'm unaware of because I haven't ever used it. Well, I mean, I've used it, but 40 years ago, not lately, of course. So I'm sure that even that is reformulated, the soap itself. But I must say though, and for the price, I like it. Yeah, I like it. I think it's got, I think this would be great for spring. Now as I'm smelling it, it's getting even classier smelling. As it's, yes, now I'm getting the kind of undercurrent of floral again with the lavender. But then there's that spiciness that balances that out. Now, again, I'm one that, you know, to talk about note breakdowns, I mean, when you think about, when people say, oh, it smells of ambroxan, it smells of labdanum, or however you say it, but I say labdanum, agar wood, or bergamot and patchouli. Well, I know what patchouli smells like. I was born in Berkeley, California. I'm aware of what patchouli smells like, okay? So anyhow, I feel that that this is nicer than I expected it to be. It smells familiar to me, but not in the same way that I remember it back in the mid-'80s. But it's still really nice. And when people say, is it a clean smell, or they say it's a clean smell, I'd say, yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I wouldn't say it like in today's terms of real bright and fresh and all that. I wouldn't say that. It almost reminds me along the same lines of, which I really have grown to love, and I never knew of it until last year, Tabak. That German barbershop fougere scent that I have in the cologne water, or cologne, you know, the splash cologne, big bottle. And then I have it also in the EDT. Love that. But that one's really intense and floral. But I'm picking up more wafting over here, that springtime, but from a yesteryear perspective of lavender, spice, floral, and all that. So now for those of you that understand, you know, what ambroxan smells like and aldehydes and all these other things, I mean, certain things, I know what musk smells like, I know what oak moss smells like and all that. And I think if you look at the note breakdown on most colognes. Oh my gosh. Every time you see it. Bergamot, lemon or whatever, neroli. Well, neroli not all the time, but a lot of the times you'll see that. But bergamot is always mentioned, and oak moss, and sometimes or quite a few times vetiver. But patchouli is always mentioned, and musk, vanilla, which I'm not picking up vanilla too much in here. What's the other ones? There's so many but they seem to be so repetitive. So I've tried to investigate what those are and what they're really like. But, I think a cologne is made to where it should harmonize together and be a symphony of smell or fragrance or of aroma. And not be like, oh, I smell this, I smell that, I smell this, I smell that. I mean, yes, having a layered effect and hints of something, yes. But to be constantly picking out something, it's, I don't know. So, with that being said, in the layered effect of it all, I have to say it over and over again that I'm getting the lavender. First shot was a blast of kind of a spice, and then the lavender floral is giving it that soapy quality that people are talking about. I get that. Iris is another. I grow irises in my backyard, but they bloom once a year, and I'm about ready to dig them up. I'm tired of something that gives a bloom for 2 weeks out of 52 weeks out of the year? No, thank you. No, they're pretty, but they better be repeat bloomers. That's all I've got to say. But anyhow, with this, I really like it. I'm going to wear it today. In fact, I'm going to shower again, and then I'm going to, I don't know if I want to shave. I kind of like having the growth. Sometimes I shave, sometimes I don't. But I like this. Yeah, I like it. I'm very glad I bought it, actually. I was a little hesitant, being that it is an older version. How old? Not sure. What is the time period in which this particular one was manufactured? That's the back, of course, and then the side and front with the Art Deco looking bottle, with the sprayer within the cap. I can't tell you. But I want to find out, though. And if you know, let me know. As far as the time period, the era that this was manufactured in. It could be, it could be something like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, as short as that, and that the new ones just were released a year ago or so. The one that the cap is underneath, the sprayer is underneath the cap. Who knows? Anyhow, here I go again. The video just goes on and on and on. Anyhow, so overall, I would say that for the price, for a springtime fragrance, and summer as well, I wouldn't call this offensive. I wouldn't call this anything but a nice retro fragrance that smells clean and enjoyable. And one that, unless you can carry it off, I wouldn't do, even though I was back then, I wouldn't do below the age of 25 or even 30. Yeah, well, I was in my back then, let's see when I bought this. I was probably about 26 at the time. I'm 62 now, but I was 26 back then when I wore this, somewhere around there. And I liked it then a lot. So, but you got to remember though too, even back then, this would have been very mild compared to the Quorum and the Quorums that I wore, and the Chanel Antos and Van Cleef and Arpels, which I bought another bottle here a couple of years back, a vintage one, at a Cancer thrift store that I want to do a review on as well. All black bottle, Van Cleef and Arpels, very nice. And this isn't, like the polo green with a brass colored cap. It isn't that kind of heavy, saturated intensity. But this is nice though. Yeah, I'll enjoy this, especially for daytime, springtime. But today's winter. I mean, of course, we're in February, so. But it's a 50, high 50s today. Cloudy and depressing looking, but it's in the high 50s. So I'm gonna actually wear this today. Yeah, I like this. I've been pretty lucky. I try to research and watch videos, and hopefully you're watching mine and enjoying mine as well. But I like to try to be patient and read up and get other people's feedback and read comments online and go to YouTube as well and talk with friends and all that before I make a purchase, because I am on a, unlike in my past, I'm on more of a fixed income, so I have to just take my time. But I have a lot of colognes to review. This one I wanted to do today because I just received it. So I thought, well, you can share with me the, first experience of it. So, yeah, this is nice. Yeah, I like this a lot. Irish Spring, from what I remember, I'm not getting. But kind of that soapy quality, slight powdery, clean scent. Yeah, I think this is good. I think it's very good. Again, I can't compare it to the latest one, but if you want to compare it, I saw a video by Kellen on Scents of South Jersey on YouTube. There is where I was convinced to try it. And he, in his video, stated that, again, this one was spicier than the newer release of today. So that's what prompted me to buy this one. And I'm glad I did. I'm really perfectly happy that I did. So, yeah, I think this is nice. I really like this. Yeah. I like it better than I thought I would, actually. Yeah, I mean, I remember I liked it back then, but then with reformulations, as I said before, it's just, you don't know what you're going to get. So, anyhow, I think if you're into that, more of a retro cologne, if you're older, I said 25 on up, maybe even 35 on up. It doesn't smell like a today's type of fragrance. The modern man fragrance. That it doesn't. But that's fine. I'm not worried about it. I've got quite a few that are today's modern fragrance, but I like yesterday's fragrance too. Yesterday's is with me. So anyhow, but if you're, in your early 30s or mid 30s on up, and you like kind of a retro, lavendery, soapy, not Irish Spring so much, a bit of a floral scent to it, I think you'll like it, especially if you get it for $17. And that's with free shipping on eBay. I mean, I don't know who the store is or who the seller is, but I mean, I have seen them on there. So, for that. But again, I opted for the one that was a little more because of the spray cap. All right, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this review, and we'll see what you think. Let me know what you think. And as they say, now I'm not going to say click, I'm going to say tap, like, pretty please, and subscribe. Extra please. Well, thank you for watching. Bye.